First and foremost, welcome to our 3-Star Diamond call. So excited for this one. First and foremost, I want to ask you guys so our last call obviously was Angie going over her training and really a revolving training. So I kind of want to hear you guys' feedback. How did you guys end up approaching that? Have you implemented anything like that into your business yet? Yes, Amy, put a hands up. Yeah.
I did. I'm starting the training with a group of other coaches that are in my uplines, downline. Funny way of saying that. And we're putting together a train. I'm actually told them about it, and we're putting it together.
Awesome. Cool. What about the rest of you? Have any of you implemented some of this revolving training to get your coaches started right, started fresh?
I haven't, only because I'm waiting to take myself through the newly revamped Coach Basics training just to see how that aligns and what videos I need to pull.
Absolutely. I don't blame you too. It should be a lot easier, so you'll be able to have good content.
So I looked at the new leader training and I love how it's been revamped. Continuously training is something that I do monthly anyways, but I definitely think that I think that this new training is going to be so much more mainstream in really getting fresh content to our team. So it's good stuff.
Absolutely. And it's very action oriented. It's do this, now post this, do this, do this. And so they'll be able to actually put it into action, and you'll get your coaches started strong, and they can duplicate that. Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add? Whitney, I saw that you popped on. Hello. Hey, cool. Such a great training. I'm so glad Angie was able to go over that with us, because just like she said, she's been a 3-Star Diamond. She has now somewhat mastered it over all these years, and her coaches did the same thing. They kind of rolled their eyes, but now they're starting to see how it's implemented, how it's actually working. So I would definitely say if you don't have a strong way to get your coaches started, kind of look at that. Because honestly, by tweaking just one thing and creating a revolving training, your coaches will get started right. They'll be able to duplicate it, and from there you'll have a very strong foundation. All right, so let's get this next call started. How about that? I'm so excited because 3-Star Diamond, you know what, you ladies and gents, if I have any boys on here, I don't think I do yet, but you guys are all working so hard. And I really, all about this business is consistency, creating consistency. And so I'm really excited about this next topic, because that's exactly what it is. So Melissa here is a 3-Star Diamond. She's actually going to be talking about creating consistency and following your dreams. So she's a 3-Star Diamond. She's 4-Star Diamond Qual, which is so exciting. She already for the year has actually increased her ATV by 120,000, which is incredible, 7 months into the business. She also has capped almost both SC and PSPV, so she's doing incredible as far as that goes. And she has already created 3 personally sponsored Diamond coaches. She also lives in California. She's a mommy of 3, so she definitely, is very similar to a lot of you ladies that are working and doing this business with, your oldest is 8, is that correct? And your youngest is 8? Okay.
7 months, yeah.
7 months, okay. Very, very cool. So she's very, well-rounded and can do this business all while having a baby and now a child going back to school and everything of that sort. So I'm so excited to have you on this call, Melissa. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So I'm really excited to talk about this because consistency is something that I speak to my team about all the time. I like to refer to myself as the queen of quitting, because before Beachbody and coaching, I quit pretty much anything and everything that you could think of. If it didn't feel right, if I wasn't having fun, if I got bored, I quit and I ran. And I'll give you just a little bit of backstory on why I think that's happened and where my business has gone. So I started following my coach a little over 2 years ago. Some of you may know her, Mindy Horde. And she was posting these things about, being home, going home to her children, and how she was tired of being a slave to the office, and how great she felt, and how much money she was making. And I was like, holy smokes, this lady's inspiring me. She's posting things that I can relate to. she talked about how she, you know, she enjoyed alcoholic beverages and she didn't like working out. And I was like, that's me right here. Like I'm all over it. And then I started seeing like my upline, Becky and Christina Delgado, posting. And so I started to follow them. And I had already quit Insanity twice. And so I figured if I was going to try something like this, then I may as well sign up for the discount, because my husband, like I tried those wrap things. I tried every type of diet pill that you could try. I did Weight Watchers. I mean, you name it, I did it. I really was just looking for a way to feel good about myself and to feel comfortable in my own skin. I was constantly feeling like I had to be surrounded by people to make myself feel better about myself. And some of the other things in life that I quit, I mean, at the age of 18, 4 months before high school graduation, I dropped out of high school because I thought I was making the right choice. And so at the age of 22, I'm sorry, I had my first son. And early on into my relationship, we got pregnant. And the first thing I wanted to do was run. And my husband came from a really good family and a really good background where I had a great dad, and he provided as much stability as he could, but I was used to constantly moving. I think I went to probably like 7 different elementary schools, high school or middle schools, and like 3 high schools. So I moved around a lot. And so getting up and stopping things when they were uncomfortable came very, very natural to me. And so my husband was like, we're in this for the long haul and you're stuck with me. Like, he showed me that you just don't give up on things that you love. And when I found my coach, like I had said, I had quit Insanity twice. I tried Shakeology through another local coach. I couldn't believe that people were drinking it because they thought it was disgusting. And after I started following Becky and Christina, I saw their results for their fitness. And so here it was, these super motivational mothers who were having all these great results. And I was trying everything under the sun just to lose 10 or 15 pounds to feel better about who I was inside. And so I decided, when I saw Christina do the 21-day fix and she lost 12 pounds and 12 inches, like I was like, that lady doesn't even have 12 pounds to lose. Like, I need that. And now that I have found, this passion around coaching, I talk to people about my story and I talk to them. It's so easy for us to give up on things and to quit. And for our challengers, like, we need to stop being, just their cheerleaders and really help them through these things, because that's what I needed. And I needed consistency in my life. And so Beachbody is the first thing that I have stuck to. And I didn't think that I was going to build a business, let alone come home to my children after 15 months of being a coach. But I'll tell you, that very first Super Saturday that I went to, and I watched Amy Silverman on the screen, and she talked about how she had come from this life of a background of drug and alcohol and not having things, and that this business had built it for her. I was like, why not me? Why can't I do this? And so since then, I have showed up to every single live event that I could. Me and one of my coaches, we were brand new. I think she was a coach for like a month and a half. We got in my car and we drove 14 hours to Las Vegas. She was 7 months postpartum, breastfeeding, pumping the whole way, and I was 10 weeks pregnant. And I was still just trying to figure out, like, okay, now I'm pregnant. I just lost like 22 pounds. Is this for me? Am I going to stick to it? And like I said, quitting was my thing. And so it wasn't that hard for me from it, but it just felt right and it felt good. And so when I went to Summit, I heard these amazing stories. But the one thing that stood out to me was just being consistent in your business and showing up every single day. And so as I onboard my new coaches, here's some of the things I talk to them about. So we all have stuff, and we all have bad days, and life happens to us a lot. But that doesn't mean that we just stop working. If this is something that you want, if you dream to be financially, debt-free and to be home with your children or to be a 15-star superstar diamond, like you have to show up every single day and you have to put the work in. Think about it as your job. If you work a 9-to-5 job, like I worked a 9-to-5 job up until July 3rd. I just came home to my kids. So when life was still happening, when I was, up at night with my daughter, which was very unexpected, when these things were happening, I still had to show up every single day because my coaches and my challengers depended on me. And I've been creating this following of people who are expecting me to show up. And I don't always have something profound to say or these great advice, or I don't have all the answers, but I show up and I'm real and I share everything about my life. I don't try to sugarcoat things. I'm not in the perfect shape. I don't have a 6-pack. I haven't reached my fitness goals that I wanted to since I've had my daughter. But I share those things. Oh, my son's home from school. See? You just share those things and show up every single day, no matter what. Today, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was really dreading this call because I last week was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I've been having severe pain and it's been unexplained. And now I'm taking these steroids and they have me up at night and I'm just not feeling like myself. But you have to show up. You make commitments and you follow through. And I promise you, consistency, when you show up, your team's going to show up. And they're going to teach that to their coaches as they onboard and their challengers. So we talked about not just sharing Beachbody, sharing your life and incorporating it, talking about how it's improved your life. So my husband, his dad died at the age of 36 years old. And my husband will be 36 in less than a month. And when he turned 30 years old, I made him get blood pressure medication because he had high blood pressure. Now he's off his blood pressure medication because of Shakeology. And I truly, in all of my heart, I believe that. And I share that. And that's something that I share. So it's not just sharing Beachbody and Shakeology is the best drink and it's better than Starbucks and this, that, and the other. Excuse me 1 second. Tyler, you need to turn that down, bud. But it's sharing how it's changed our life and why we're lifers and why it's going to be a staple in our home. The other thing is consistently communicating your goals and your why with your team. If you are just creating this vision and not sharing it with anyone, and you say by the end of the year, I want to be a 5-star elite diamond, but you haven't communicated that goal and you have people on your team who don't know what that means, like it's not going to happen. And that's the reality. And until I started communicating and realizing that it was about my team as a whole, and this elite, going for elite is an elite team and not just Melissa to be an elite coach, like that's when things started changing. I have my upline reach out to me and she's in the Millionaires Club and she's mentoring me to help me get to elite. I don't want that just for myself. So I immediately was like, can we have my team on this call? So setting a vision and a tone for your team and then ask them to do the same exact thing for you. I'm a huge believer in personal development. As I gave you snippets of my life, I haven't had a perfect life and I know no one has, but to be able to get over the quitting and to getting over the stuff and to show up every single day in my business and be able to share my story without that constant fear of judgment, I say personal development. And what I talk to my challengers about today is personal development is going to help you also like feeling better on the inside. I made a post yesterday talking about a dress that I had to wear 2 years ago. You know how Facebook shows you that like where you were at in your life 2 years ago. And it was crazy the emotions that dress brought up for me because I had went out and spent $300 on this bridesmaid's dress and let my ego and being embarrassed get in front of me and said, okay, well, I'm going to complete insanity. So I ordered the dress 2 sizes too small. So when the dress showed up, it didn't fit. Like the dress fits now and it zips and it's great. But the emotion that talked about, like I shared, that reached someone, and I was able to tell them, because of personal development, I'm not focused on that stress. I'm not focused on the scale anymore. So personal development, you have to be consistent in it. Like, you can't just pick and choose on the days that you want to grow your mind and your heart. You have to do it every single day, because if you're not doing it, then your team's not going to do it. And if you guys aren't doing, if we're not doing personal development, I promise you, we're not growing at the level that we could be. And I know that we hear this all the time, like, what's the secret sauce? And people are like, oh, there's no secret sauce. I'm here to say I beg to differ. Consistency is the secret sauce. Secret sauce. Showing up every single day and not like throwing in the towel when things get hard or life happens, like I was saying in the beginning. Like, that's what's going to create a following. That's what's going to have people messaging you a year from now saying, hey, okay, Brittany, I've been watching you for a year and you're really serious about this Beachbody thing. Tell me more about it. Or a mom who unexpectedly, like me, got pregnant after she thought she was done and is like, I want my body back. Like, how do I do this? Or my goal is, within the next 2 years to say, hey, you went from working, making $45,000 a year and now you're making 6 figures. Like, what are you doing? Like, consistently sharing your story. It doesn't mean rubbing it in people's faces. And I think people get caught up in thinking that people are going to judge you because you're sharing these things. Like, these are great things. People want to be surrounded by positivity. So if we're showing up every day and consistently sharing our stories and being positive about the things that we post, I promise you it's going to come back and great things are going to happen for it. I just want to look really quick and see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Some of the other things that I have been talking to my team about is I know our coaches sometimes struggle to figure out like what they should share and what they should post, and even our challengers. And so I've been thinking about just utilizing the days of the week. I had done a 30-day Girl Boss boot camp where it was like each day I would post in the group and it would tell them what to post, like take a picture of yourself and do an overlay with a motivational quote and just put a few words. And so that was something for them to post. Or take a picture of your Shakeology and talk about how it has changed your life. Well, now I'm thinking, okay, so we have 7 days in the week. And so we want to be sharing and branding at least 3 to 5 times per day. Sometimes I get a little crazy, but at least 3 to 5 times per day. So if you just break it down and you say M, T, W, T, H, F, like the days of the week, and you say Motivation Monday. So you can do this for your coaches and you can do this for your challengers. So on Monday, you're going to post either some personal motivation or someone who motivates you, or a motivational quote, something like that. And encourage your coaches to tag each other, because the more consistently you can create around people commenting and liking your stuff, other people are going to start seeing that in their news feeds, and that's how you're going to start getting more people. Like Tuesday can be Transformation Tuesday, so that it's either your transformation or someone else's transformation. Today, one of my newer coaches, actually, she was a coach a few months ago, decided it wasn't for her. She quit, and she just came back like a week and a half ago, and she's on fire. But she posted a picture of 7 pill bottles and then a picture of her Shakeology. And she said in the last 36 days, she's pill-free. She feels like a completely different person. And so all I did was take that and share it in my challenge group. Like, this is the best Transformation Tuesday I've seen in a long time, because it's talking about somebody getting their life back and not having to be a slave to a medication. Like, that's huge for people. When you can create that picture for people, they're going to want to follow it, and they're going to think about their parents or their family or themselves or whoever that needs this product in their life. And you can come up with whatever you want, but just some other ones that I wrote down was Wednesday is like, we call it hump day. So what hump did you get over on Wednesday? Or just, it doesn't have to be just that day, but what are you going through and what challenge did you get through? Thursday, Testimony Thursday. So you can just, share your testimony and of being a coach or a challenger, whatever that looks like. I know some people do like Fun Pants Friday, or you can do Freaky Friday, whatever. Just creating things around the days of the week to build that consistency and posting. And then lastly, just the 3 vital behaviors. Like if we're not consistent in that, our business isn't going to grow. We can't be like halfway, okay, well, I did my workout and I drink my Shakeology, but I'm not going to do my personal development today, and I'm not going to invite anyone today because I invited 10 people yesterday. Like you have to be consistent in that. And you can't just invite people and not to do your work. You have to do all of them together. And I can tell you when I'm in a funk or I'm off my game, because I do have those times, especially when I was starting out as a newer coach, I noticed a difference. So when I got consistent, that is when my team grew, and I went from having 250 people in my downline to almost 600. My income went from $550 a month to $1,000 a week. Like, there's just changes that you have to make in communicating these things to your team, like, and letting them know if you make these changes, I promise you, it may not happen overnight, but I can tell you, I have peers who I work closely with. Chris is one of them, and Lindsay. We've seen such a huge change in our business this year. And like, Chris and I just came home to our kids. Like, for me, that's huge. If you would have asked me 18 months ago if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I would have laughed at you in your face. I thought that it was crazy, and I need to be at work, and I need to be able to support help support my family. And kids make me crazy. Like, I dread the day that, like, when school got back in, I was like, oh God, we have to get like on a real schedule now, right? And I'd only been home for like a short time, but I can't picture going back to a 9-to-5 job. I can't picture missing out on my daughter crawling or getting her first tooth or going on field trips or anything, making dinner, going to football practice. Like, and I get to do all of that because of this opportunity. So there's no special secret sauce, like I said, except for being consistent. And my goal is to be a 5-star elite by the end of the year. And I'm sitting at, I think, 93 points, which was like a 20-point jump in less than 30 days. Like, it was crazy when I got my report this month. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm almost there. This is great. But just sharing like what that means to elite, educating your team. I have, my coaches joining my call with Becky to talk about how I'm going to make this happen so that they can make it happen too, because it's about all of us. And then they can go in, they can teach that back. So whatever it is, if you need to set a calendar for your team every month, like those are great tips that I've gotten. Just be consistent. Like, show up. That's it.
Love it. And I will tell you, I get asked every single day, what is this secret sauce? And I honestly say there isn't. It's the 3 vitals, but you're absolutely right. It's consistency. It's just being consistent. Love it. So what questions do you have, coaches, for Melissa? Thank you so much, too. That was great.
Yeah.
You guys can unmute yourself. If you didn't notice, I muted you all.
Yeah. Melissa, I have a question. By the way, I love you, and I just sent you a friend request. That was so good. And I think what we get away from is that we make it harder than what it is. I do, like, it was so funny. You said you have a bad day. I woke up and I woke up and it was like, it's a bad day. But it was only 8 o'clock in the morning, which is pretty sad. But one thing I did want to ask you, I just friend requested you, so I haven't seen any of your posts. We do all this and we want to share this and that. How much of your 3 to 5 a day are focused on beach body or health and fitness versus just life? Like, do you have your 5 things you talk about? Or do you do more? Or do you have enough of a following that you can talk about beach body all the time?
So I don't just go out and say, oh, we have, 21-day fix on sale and we have Shakeology as a bundle. I incorporate my life into it and I talk about it, because I used to do that and I felt really uncomfortable doing it. And so, like if you look at my post from yesterday when I was talking about that dress, I talked about Beachbody in it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Not like,
I would say probably I post at least 3 times a day about either the coaching opportunity or Shakeology or my meals or, yeah.
Okay. Oh, now I can see you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is good. Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Super good. Thank you for sharing. So this is kind of weird because I've been, my Eat That Frog right now is trying to figure out how to tell my team that as a whole, we're pushing for elite without sounding like I need you to get your butts working because I want to be 5-star elite. And so what's super funny is on my list today after this call, I'm like, you have to make a video. Like you have to make a video, you have to post a video, stop beating around the bush. How would you suggest sharing that? I mean, how do you make it so they know this is a team thing? Like when you're sharing how you earn points and things like that, how do you make it seem like it's not just, I mean, I know it's not selfish, but it seems, I don't want it to come across that way.
No, totally, and I get that. And I struggled with making my video at first, and I actually made it like 3 different times because it was like, okay, I don't want them to think that this is just about me, even though, I'm the one that is achieving, but I tie it into our leaders that are elite, and I tie it into the team dynamic and really helping them understand, like, what are your goals? Because when you are achieving your goals, and I'm helping you get there, as a team, it's this whole big thing. We want Team Fierce. We want everyone to know Team Fierce like they know Diesel Nation or Set Your Soul on Fire, whatever it is. And so just talking to them a little bit more about what their goals are. And you're going to have those leaders who don't understand. And they're going to need those one-on-one conversations. But just get excited about what elite is and explaining to them why they want to push for elite or they want to push for premier. But saying, when you're recruiting people, they're going to know that they're going to be joining an elite team.
Okay, thank you.
Does that help at all?
That's super helpful. Yes, thank you.
I have a quick thing on that also because my team is pushing for elite, and it's going to happen. But since about April or May, every time I get that email, every month I get that email with the elite ranking and this points and everything, I blast that to my coaches. We celebrated it. They are well aware that it is not me. Those points did not come from me. They came from each one of the coaches. And when I posted my video telling them this is what I needed, it was never, I told them I couldn't do it myself. This is my goal, but it's my goal and I can't do it without you. And if you have goals for this team and if you want to be elite and if you want to be on stage and if you want to be recognized as an elite team, I'm going to need your help. And we have got diamonds popping right now, so it's exciting. But you just have to let them know this is your goal, but it's something that I can sell 50 challenge packs this month, and it means 0 to my elite. That it's all about them. And once you get them on board with that and understand how important they are to your goal, you're going to get those coaches that want to working.
Yep.
So,
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris. That was awesome. Anybody else have any great insight or questions, comments? Crickets. Just joking.
The only other thing that I would say, just to add on to what Chris said, is if you are not actively working with your upline on a plan to get to elite, reach out to them, because Chris and I are lucky we have the same upline, and they're amazing. I mean, we are not in this alone, and we have this crazy group where we post every single month and we get feedback, and we encourage each other and give suggestions and things like that. So Maybe you don't have a relationship with your upline. Create something like that, like with the peers that you do work with, because when you start collaborating across this business and sharing like we do on these calls, but with more people, you're going to be able to share and borrow and really just grow and get great ideas to help your team grow.
Awesome. I have a question for you, Melissa. So you talked a lot about personal development, and as far as, what is one book that really helped you leap forward and stay consistent, not quit? What would you suggest to these coaches?
So this one's probably beating a dead horse, but honestly, I went back to this book like 2 different times, and I'm not a reader, but You Are a Badass. I felt like every single word in Jan's book was written for me. And one of the things that I love that she says, and pardon my French, I'll blink it out, but the reason why we're effed up is not our fault, but if we choose to stay effed up, that is our fault. And I know that I can make a difference in someone's life every single day, but I have to show up. I can't blame, my childhood or the fact that I made a stupid decision to drop out of high school at the age of 18 because I thought I knew what I was doing in life. Like, I can't blame those things, but I can create a life for myself. The other one is The First Steps to Wealth by Danny Johnson. It isn't so much more than just talking about like savings and how to get out of debt. That book will stretch you and grow you. If those are areas that you want to learn how to be better at, or to get out of debt, or to pay off credit cards or set goals, like, read that book too. So
awesome. Thank you. So now my challenge to you coaches is, first and foremost, and this, if we've never talked about this on a call before, I really, really want to stress it. You need to go back to your team and you need to express your vision. And I know at times and at moments we feel like that's us being salesy, or us just not, maybe we don't truly believe in our goals and what we are putting out there. But honestly, if you allow your coaches to see that bigger picture, they will work with you. And they will feel a sense of pride when you advance. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest thing that you could do within this business is create leaders that surpass you. That is the most success you will ever have, because you have treated them and created a vision that is bigger than you. So what I would want to really challenge you guys is go back to your coaches and tell them what your vision is. Tell them what your dream is. Tell them what you're striving for. And you will be shocked to see who shows up and is willing to be right there by your side. And if you have some coaches that are a little hesitant about it, then you know where they stand and you can approach it in a different direction. So that's my first and foremost. You have to express it with your team if you're trying to make this a team effort, which it truly is. You cannot do this by yourself. Second thing is, and I'll obviously post this in the group, but it's just, what are you going to do today to stay consistent? Is it as easy as is it your workout? It's really the 3 vitals, just like you said, Melissa. I have tons of coaches that do a workout one day and then maybe invites on another day. Stay consistent. Do all 3 together. They're that way for a reason. Carl thought of them that way for a reason. So staying consistent with that. So I'm just going to ask you, what are you going to do to stay consistent? Are you going to dig deeper into personal development, your workout, inviting, whatever it is? But what you do this very second will set you up for success in September, October, November, December, and then into 2016. Okay, so that's going to be my little action plan for you guys. And like I said, I'll post that in the group. But thank you so much for your involvement. Great call today, Melissa. I loved it.
awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any last things before I hang this up? All right. Thanks for being involved, coaches. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, okay?